Well, I think all of you have been excited about this panel, so thank you for letting us move it up a little bit earlier in the programming, because we don't want everyone to race off and miss what could be some really, really interesting information from the team at Uniti. I am so excited. They're dear friends, and they've got a lot of great things happening, and I can't wait for them to tell you more about it. So Dave, Mike, and Brian, take it away.
Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, I should say. We are really excited to announce that we've finally completed our integration with Windstream. Uniti and Windstream completed that August 1st. We are rapidly moving together to integrate both companies from a systems perspective. And while we're here at Connectbase, we've had several meetings with the Connectbase folks to provide an integrated building list that we can share with our customer base. It's going to take a little while, so be patient with us for now. It'll be just separate instances in the Connectbase system until we unify those two building lists. But we're very excited about the integration, or excited about the merger with both organizations. We feel like we've got a lot to offer, and I'm going to jump in real quick and just talk a little bit about the company and what it looks like today. So the three of us up here are all part of Uniti Wholesale. We provide obviously dark fiber and lit services nationwide on the map that we'll show here in a little bit. Uniti Fiber is a traditional southeastern footprint. I call it the SEC territory. That is where we sell to enterprise businesses, government, educational organizations with a direct sales force. And then there's Uniti Solutions, which is a legacy Windstream organization that sells managed services to enterprise customers as well. And then Kinetic, which is the local access business under the Uniti umbrella that has really pushing for fiber to the home, as well as small businesses in the legacy ILEC territories within Windstream. As far as the organization itself, Joe Scatarigio, who is legacy Windstream, is going to be the chief revenue officer moving forward. Greg Ortel, who I report to, will be leading the sales organization under Uniti Wholesale, and John Nishimoto will also be continuing as SVP of product strategy for the organization. Down below there, you'll see a lot of the leadership and sales VPs that are making up the Uniti Wholesale organization. Again, very, very excited about the network. I've been in sales my entire life, and to have more network to sell is never a bad thing. We're very excited about it. We're in, as I mentioned before, we feel like that number of 100,000 lit buildings and 450,000 near-net buildings will probably grow quite a bit, but we've got to finish the analysis to come up with an exact number. We're in a lot of data centers. We're obviously building to a lot of military bases as well. That started, I know, in the Uniti Fiber territory, but also in the wholesale territory with legacy Windstream. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Michael Lavoie to give you a little bit more information about how we approach the local access markets.
The clicker. Well, thank you, Dave. Wanted to just speak for a few minutes about our on-net, near-net building list and our strategy as we have worked with Connectbase since its inception 10 years ago. We feel like the data integrity is so important as you release that on-net, near-net building list out in the ecosystem. Your customers can buy from you, and it increases opportunity. We have what we call a scope of work document that outlines the responsibilities of both companies, and we've defined that over time. It's a malleable document that we change periodically, but it defines and ensures the accuracy of our building analysis that we do each quarter. We call it Team Uniti, but it's a lot of people that make this happen and make the quality of the data so important as we release it. Internally, we have representatives from finance, from GIS, field analysis, and engineering as well. We meet bi-weekly with Connectbase, our CSM, Mike Berman. He's awesome. He's here at the show. But the behind the scenes, if you will, and making sure that the data is so clean. It comes from finance cost estimation. We use Connectbase for the right-of-way analysis for the routes and the construction. We identify high-cost locations that require NRCs, so we designate them as ICB in the tool. Those city business districts, those railroad crossings, the interstate crossings, all the things that mess up nice, clean builds, we try to identify those. And then the network analysis, discovering thousands and thousands of miles on the network. Again, as we acquire companies over time, sometimes the record keeping isn't as great, and you guys have experienced that as you've done so in your own companies. We try to mitigate that, and every quarter we're now analyzing that and making sure the data is so clean. And basically, our goal is to stay out of the hashtag penalty box. You may remember last year's conference, Dave said that a few times. It was trending on social media so much, so we decided to bring it back. But we do not want to be in our customer's penalty box, meaning that when you send us an order, if it's on our on-net and near-net building list, we should be able to fill it, and we'll try to honor that. So. The results and benefits of this is consistent across the network. We reduce those errors. Our stakeholders are aligned with the process internally. We have clear expectations for results, and we don't mind changing things. Like I said, on that scope of work document, if we identify something that we need to change from the previous quarter, we all agree upon that and do it, and we partner with Connectbase on that. Our GIS enhancements are so important, knowing where your splice points are and where your access points are. Our network shape files for better visualization. Dedicated focus on local access. So my role in Unity is to go out and go deep and wide into our top accounts, making sure that our data that we're sending to Connectbase, whether it's API or a flat file, we're checking over the shoulder of our customers in their pricing tools, and we're testing addresses every quarter and seeing what the pricing they're seeing matches our rate cards. That's so important in this world of automation where your sales teams are kind of forcing you to be quick to the quote. We want to make sure that we're in that list and we are clean as all get out when those outputs are had in their pricing tools. And then we have network promotions. We recently did a no NRC promotion, which was very popular. If it's on the on-net, near-net building list, we'll honor it. And we moved it forward. So we may see some of those promotions coming forward. So I'm going to turn the time over to Brian Cancio, and he's going to talk about some enhancements that we made. But the important message is, obviously, you guys know this, data integrity and the clean data out in the ecosystem is so important. So, Brian.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, David. So I'm the product and systems guy. So I'm here to support my talented sales organization. So what I'm going to talk a little bit about is our products. So David did a great job kind of talking about the network. So what does that mean for all of you and your product catalog? So Uniti Wholesale offers 3 areas of network services. So number one, we're an infrastructure company. So that's dark fiber, that's co-location, that's ILAs. We're a construction company. We do builds, right? And trying to give diverse routes to all of our customers. On the core network side, we provide lit transport wave services as well. So whether that's in the data centers that you and all of your customers need to go to, whether it's cable landing stations for some of our international partners that are here, we want to get close to where your customer is or where your network is. And then last but not least, and this is the beauty of Connectbase, you know, we, as Michael and David had said, we're an access provider. So we have an amazing network, nationwide network like many of our colleagues and peers, but we also bring a lot of unique rural areas between the Uniti network and the former Windstream network as well. So for all of you, that means Ethernet solutions, it means E-line, it means DIA solutions, right? Even broadband in the ILEC territories of Uniti Wholesale. So how do those products appear in the connected world? Well, for our infrastructure network, you can see our routes, our dark fiber routes, our wavelength routes. They're in the connected world today. You can see our central offices, our lit buildings, the data centers that we operate in. On the core network side, in addition to the wavelength services, if you're looking for IP transits, we can do that as well in our data centers. And then last but not least, the last mile solutions that Connectbase does so well in aggregating for all of you, right? So that's our e-access products. It's the internet products and the broadband that I mentioned earlier. Okay, so with that said, I did want to share some new information about Uniti Wholesale. So my last slide is to talk about the connected world tomorrow. So Uniti Wholesale is finishing the development of a new point-to-point service availability API. So that takes some of the features that we already have in our iConnect portal for wavelengths and takes it into environments like the Connectbase environment for wavelengths. I know many of our peers here, we're all starting to see that the 10 gig wave is becoming the DS3 of the past, and we want to make sure that our partners can get access to service availability and even where we have standardized pricing for wavelengths. Okay, so we're very excited about this. I know the Connectbase community has been waiting for this, and in the fourth quarter, we'll be working with Connectbase as they start to integrate our new point-to-point API in the connected world. So with that, I'm out of content. I think we may be doing a little bit of Q&A if we have a little bit of time. She's giving me the thumbs up. So if you guys have a question, maybe perhaps raise your hand and maybe we'll get you a mic.
All right. I'm getting my steps in. Who's got a question for our friends at Uniti? Joe Patton needs no microphone. There you go.
I'm just curious, I saw dark fiber was in your instance for folks to look at. And I'm curious as to how you present that in the connected world. How is
What? Joe, can I repeat your question? How do you showcase dark fiber within Connectbase?
You want to take that? You do it. Oh, okay. I've been nominated to answer that question. So in the connected world, we publish our KMZs for not only our dark fiber network, Joe, but also our lit network. So as David and Michael said earlier, we're fresh off of the completion of our integration. So today, those fiber networks in the connected world will appear differently in the two different instances. So if you're a customer of Uniti Wholesale, I think it's advantageous to maybe work with your CSM to get connected to either Uniti 77 or I think it's 4122 for the Windstream legacy network. You'll be able to see our dark fiber network and our wavelength network in the form of KMZs in their map interface. Good question.
I will say that we are working diligently to combine the instance, but as Brian with Connectbase said yesterday, we certainly want our customer experience to be top notch, and so we're not going to turn it on too early, or else it'll just frustrate you, it'll frustrate us. So just give us a few months as we try to combine that. We're working on a combined on-net and near-net building list, really defining what near-net and on-net mean for the combined company. So just be patient with us, but we're working diligently on that.
Awesome. We got a question through the app. With the merger, what new regions of network will be available? And I might amend that because you probably already covered that in some detail, but perhaps where you think expansion might be, where new investments might be, perhaps. But with the merger, what new regions of network will be available was the question we got. Don't all fight for the microphone.
We nominate Brian.
Oh, okay then. All right. So, these two great companies brought together great networks, right? So, if you are familiar with Windstream Wholesale, we had a nationwide network in a lot of the rural ILEC markets. The Heritage Unity company brought together some real strong network, Metro Ethernet and wavelength services in the Southeast, right? So when you bring these two networks together and extend this core network, you can do great things. With Uniti Wholesale, there's support from our leadership team, from our executives and our financial investors to grow more, right? So there are capital builds that a little bit of business development. So if there's some strategic builds that you're interested in, I encourage you to work with David or someone in our sales organization. We do a lot of work with municipalities, with FedGov, hyperscalers, of course. There are some hyperscale deals that we've recently closed in both companies, actually, right? So, as I said earlier, we are a fiber construction company, right? So, as far as new routes and new opportunities, I'm unable to share some of those. We will share some of that information as we get a little bit closer.
I will say that, from you guys all experienced when Windstream decided to separate Kinetic and the CLEC business, and now we're merging it back, and now we're merging it with Unity, right? So to really answer that question, I would say that, yes, there will be new regions available, especially from a local access perspective. We just want to make sure that our data is clean before we release it to you. And so, there will be new opportunities, I think, that'll come up, but just be patient as we work through that.
Yeah, and last year, the company lit our beach route. So there's a 486 cable count route that we built from scratch, which connects Myrtle Beach and some of the landing stations there all the way down to Pensacola. We lit that with wavelengths just last year. So, that's an example of some of the new routes that we're building that are diverse from other networks, because we all know our customers require that. We also have a Montreal to New York City route that we also lit up for a hyperscaler, which we're also lighting up for wavelength customers. And that's just, the start of some great things that we're going to do together with Uniti Wholesale.
All right, another one that might be tough to answer, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Any M&A activity coming up for you in 2026? And of course, everybody take out your recorders, because we're going to record this answer.
I'm going to quote Kenny Gunderman, no comment.
Yeah, no comment.
Yeah, it's a tough one, but it's exciting to see what you guys are doing, even just with the combined assets and the combined footprint that you have. So, any other M&A notwithstanding, I think the exciting future for the combined entity is definitely something to talk about. Another question was, have new wholesale account assignments been completed?
Yes, that took about a month and a half to get through that. There was obviously a lot of overlap, but it was done and it's completed, and now all the accounts have been assigned, and that was pretty much on legal day one on August 1st. So everybody's ready to go, and if you haven't heard from your sales director yet, see me after this, and I'll make sure you get a phone call after this.
I'm going to toss you a softball. One of the things that I've been so impressed by with your two organizations is the focus on culture, people, right, and things like that. Talk about how the cultures are aligned. Talk about aligned values of the two companies.
I'll take that, actually, if you want to add. What? As a wholesale person, my whole career, what I've noticed about these two companies is that the culture is very similar. There's a lot of leadership history between the two companies. The organizations are lean, mean. They pack a powerful punch, right? And there's the power small groups that I have seen within Uniti Wholesale and the former Windstream Wholesale team. So the culture is so similar, and when you bring these two companies with similar cultures, I was in a meeting earlier today, and we were talking about mergers and acquisitions. What's unique about this acquisition is with a merger and acquisition, sometimes there's some uncertainty and hostility, or like, what are you going to do when all of this is done? And the culture barrier was never there from the beginning. I don't know if David or Michael, you want to comment on that?
Yeah, I would just, we had an all hands call shortly after the merger was completed. And one of the first things that Kenny Gunderman, our CEO, talked about was culture and how we want to maintain a really good culture within the organization. So it's from the top down, and it's got a lot of focus right now. And there's a lot of internal meetings where we talk about it, and there's also right now there's a survey out for all the employees to kind of answer and really talk about the culture and what everybody wants to see moving forward. So it's a big part of the organization.
Yeah, I think it comes from the top. Like Dave said, Kenny Gunderman is all about culture, and Jennifer Ragsdale, who's on our senior leadership team, she champions that. And to Brian's point, our cultures weren't too far off since, we were a REIT and we kind of owned the Windstream network, but they operated. So it's not like we weren't strangers to each other. And so that culture permeates through, and our customers appreciate that. It bleeds through how we deliver service. And we really are conscious of that as we move forward over the next couple of quarters to really merge these two companies together. It's so important for our leadership team.
Well, and I get the privilege of working with both teams now, the combined team, and I've always admired how sort of, you said lean and mean, but really flat the organizational structure is, which means there's a lot of empowerment, right, for you guys rather than bureaucratic layers. Can you speak to that and kind of how that manifests as value to your partners?
Yeah, so as a product person, I do a lot of work with IT development teams, and if any of you work with IT teams, you may be familiar with the term agile development, right? And a Scrum team is another common term in this area. Your Scrum team is a small team. It's empowered people who can make decisions, and you have the voice of the business on those teams. So for me to answer that question, I see this a lot with my Uniti colleagues, is it's a flat organization. You have the business stakeholders right there in the room. You're making decisions together, and you're trying to reduce a lot of red tape, right? So internally, when you empower people and you help with executive support for prioritization, you can get things done in a quick manner.
This is an interesting topic that's kind of bubbling up, because I could probably name 10 mergers and acquisitions that have been announced in our industry. A lot of top customers and a lot of you are going to be experiencing this. So it is a topic that is bubbling up quite a bit lately.
Well, and certainly the integration has not happened haphazardly at all. I mean, this has been a long, planful, purposeful process. So that's great. Okay, I've got another great question here. Do you anticipate dark fiber pricing will be available in both instances?
Yes. Yes. We're working on that right now, and again, it may take a little while. I don't expect it to take too long, but we probably will have that cleared up later this month.
Great. And another one that came in, what is your opinion on the accuracy of Connectbase right-of-way near-net analysis?
You want to take that one?
Say that one more time, if you could just repeat it.
The question says, what is your opinion on the accuracy of Connectbase right-of-way near-net analysis?
Yeah. So I talked about this last year at the show, and I think it's based on how much you work with Connectbase and how much buy-in you get from your organization. As Michael talked about earlier, we don't just do this with one or two people. We do this with several people in several departments within the organization. So it's GIS, it's IT, it's our costing folks who deal with outside plant and so forth. And we make sure that accuracy is the most important thing, but customer satisfaction is our top priority. We don't want a customer to send us an order off the near-net building list only to come back and say, sorry, we miscalculated that. We got to ask you for an extra $5,000 in cost. 9 times out of 10, that leads to a canceled order, and you get put in the penalty box. So it's really important for us, and Michael mentioned this earlier, we put together a scope of work document probably 2 or 3 years ago in conjunction in in partnership with Connectbase that set expectations. When we send our KMZs to you for analysis, here's what we're sending you, here's what we expect in return, and here's what your deliverable is going to be.
It's important that you come up with the parameters from a finance perspective for your margin tolerance. You know, you have to pull those levers and push the buttons, and then you toss it over to Connectbase, and it will increase the quality of the output that you get. But you've got to determine that internally first.
Yeah.
Great. Brian, this one's for you around iConnect and Connectbase, and like talk a little bit about the platforms and kind of what that looks like.
Yeah, so with the iConnect portal, we want to expose more data so that our partners are empowered to manage their business with more control without having to phone their rep. And this is evident in two different areas. So in particular, we have some fantastic network health tools. For wavelength and dark fiber, we monitor these long-haul transport services. So through our iConnect portal, and we even have this through APIs, if our monitoring tools are discovering a fiber cut in the network, whether that's a wavelength or even dark fiber where we have testing monitoring gear, we'll automatically create a trouble ticket on your behalf. That will appear in your iConnect portal through our network health dashboards that refresh every 5 minutes. What does that mean to repair and knock organizations within your companies? It means that when you call us and see that we already have a ticket open for you, we already know that there's a problem, and we're sending trucks to the field to do fiber splicing or to repair the service, right? Half the job is knowing where the problem is so that you can fix it right away, right? So there's that transparency. On the sales side, we talked a little bit about wavelengths, right? And through this new service availability API for wavelengths, we will not only show you where we can provide services, where we could provide standardized pricing, but in the iConnect portal, one of the things that we recently developed last year was a do-it-yourself route design tool. We call it the Route Creator. So I know many of you who are quoting wavelengths, you need KMZs to present to your customers. KMZs take a long time to create by hand, right? You got to go to a sales engineer or to a GIS team. So through the iConnect portal, we're able to, through our software and our inventory that's in our network, allow the customer to choose an A and Z pair, how many route options you want, inclusion or exclusion of a certain market, hit a button, and then in a few seconds, you'll see 3 route options either sorted to you by price and availability of capacity or by efficiency, by number of hops or by latency.
Yeah, it'll also give you the latency report on
Absolutely, yeah. So whether you're looking for availability or if you want to, if maybe your end user is a bank or financial, right, you can show them both. And just the power of the click of a button, you can get the KMZ without having to reach out to a Uniti Wholesale sales engineer to have that for you, right? So we're trying to make, especially in the area of transport services, we're trying to make it easier for you to offer your services to your customer, and we believe in enablement through not only our iConnect portal but also through our APIs.
What do you think has made this integration different and / better than other ones that in the past that have been really rocky? What do you think has made this transition better?
We've never experienced a rocky integration, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Not with Unity, but certainly we've all experienced really rocky integrations. Like, what makes this one better?
I would say it's the leadership of the company. I think they've done a really good job to communicate, within the organization what's going to happen. It was, we knew the leadership right away. There was no delay in that, and they've been very open. As I mentioned before, there's a survey that's going out to the employees. I think that next week or this week, where people are going to ask questions, want to understand the company better. What do you as an employee want to see from the company going forward? So there's a lot of focus on the employees right now and making sure everybody's comfortable with that. And at the same time, we're doing our best to get on road shows and go see our customers and make them understand what the merger's all about, how much more network we can offer as a combined company, and how we can help our customers grow their organization. So.
Wonderful. Anyone from the crowd not use the Whova app but have a question for our panel up here? Anyone? Feel free. I can run over with a microphone. Nobody? Nobody? Going once, going twice? Well, I have the final question, which came through the app, and that is, why is Michael LaVoie so doggone handsome? That was the final question in the app.
You'll have to see who submitted that one. I think it was Joe Patton, maybe. I don't know.
Or Kara Curtis. I don't know who might have submitted that one. Oh yeah, he did. He submitted it himself. If there's a pseudonym in there, we'll know. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for the information for Uniti. Please stop by their table or grab one of them to have a private conversation on this. And we just really thank you so much for your time and for this great information you've shared. I can't wait for them to learn more as it unfolds. So let's hear it for the Uniti panel.